Good evening. Welcome to the Wilmette Park District regular meeting for Monday, October 9th. May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Leahy.
Here.
Commissioner Frazier.
Here.
Commissioner Clark.
Here.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Here.
Commissioner
Yes.
Goebel is not with us. She's away on business, and we'll call in when she's available. Commissioner Duffy.
Here.
Commissioner Kozlowskis.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. First up on our agenda is the consent agenda.
I would move to approve the consent agenda of October 9, 2023, regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners, a copy of which is to be attached to become a permanent part of the minutes of this meeting.
I'll second.
Ally seconds. Thank you. Roll call?
Commissioner Leahy.
Yes.
Commissioner Frazier.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark.
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Yes.
Commissioner Duffy.
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowskis.
Yes.
Consent agenda is approved.
That brings us to 3.0, communications and correspondence. Less than usual, trending in a lower direction this month.
Yeah.
I have not received anything additional. Have any other commissioners?
No.
Okay. That brings us to 4.0, public comment and recognition of visitors. Is there anyone here who would like to address the board this evening?
Yeah, all right.
Yes, sir. Come on up.
You
So
need to come up
you-
and, yeah.
Yeah, please come to the podium, state your name and address if you like, and you have 3 minutes to address the board.
Only 3 minutes?
Yes, I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Okay. Tito Dominguez, 1616 Sheridan Road. I'm here to try to propose some, that we look at some new enhancements for recreation. I'm a golfer, and of course, we have a beautiful golf course, but I would like to practice my putting and not have to go all the way from Sheridan Road to the golf course. And I'm wondering if we could create some putting greens. We have, so many parks all over the village, and it seems like we could have a couple of putting greens in some of the parks. The putting greens would be enjoyed by men, women, children, grandchildren. That putting is so easy, doesn't take big muscles. Men and women can do it just as well as each other. So I would like for you to consider in the future establishing a couple of putting greens in some of our parks. The other thing is possibly creating some tables that have a built-in checkerboard where people could play checkers or chess. And the park district could have programs for kids so they could learn chess and have little contests for different grade levels, age levels. Why should the Russians be the only one promoting chess? We can create our own Bobby Fischer right here in Wilmette. So these are some things that I would like the board to consider in the future. Things that are recreational but can be enjoyed by people of all ages.
Do you know that there is a table with a chessboard on it right now?
We
in
do?
Gilson, yeah.
In Gilson?
In Gilson, along the lakefront, as you enter, Harbor Drive, the very first table that you come to,
Okay,
it has a chessboard on it.
okay.
And that's the only one I know of. There might be another one in Gilson
Okay. We
because
don't
I
have
know
any programs for.
there's no programs like
for
that right
kids
now.
to,
Yeah, but,
have a.
but if you wanted to play outside,
Okay.
there is one close to your house.
Okay, great. All right, so we've got that.
We'll get more.
We have more?
We'll try.
All right, so we can now work on the putting greens.
All right, beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Well, we've answered half his question. Did you want to address Jess?
We have a program for kids at the rec center to learn chess. It's called Chess Wizards. So we don't conduct it at the one table at Gilson. We give them more boards than one.
And historically, the schools had a program too. I don't know if they do anymore.
I know that St. Joe St. Francis does.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Was there no one else who's here to address the public or to address the board this evening? Okay, then that brings us to the executive director's report.
Sure. We'll start with Project Parks and Play at the Committee of the Whole meeting. We had a presentation updating what has transpired since the last time Barry Dunn appeared before this board. They'll be back at the Committee of the Whole meeting later this month. And as you all discussed, there is some homework in advance. You have a portion of that information. The rest of it is coming. So you will have an update directly from the consultants and an opportunity to provide input and guidance as the planning progresses moving forward. Moving on to Langdon and solar, both are contracts later under new business on your agenda. The contract for Langdon is for Smith Group to complete the detailed engineering designs for the revetment and the access down the bluff, go through the permitting process and create the bid documents. The solar contract is similar to, as you've seen before, we've had it come before the board and not get approved in the past. I think the final hurdle was the details on how a purchase option would work. Mainly that the prior version had an obligation of the district to purchase the system if we started the process before knowing what the cost was, and there was a valuation process. That has been worked out where we are no longer obligated to make that purchase if the price is not satisfactory to us. So that is in your packet as of today. It was updated online. And those are your two items ahead of you on the agenda.
Could you go through the budget process? Because we're kind of into the budget season now.
Sure. There was a budget calendar circulated to the board, I believe in July, that outlined when the different portions of the budget would be reviewed. The first review of that will be at the next committee of the whole meeting as well. You'll get the administrative budget, the parks budget, and the golf budget. And at a later meeting, we'll review the recreation budget. That's kind of the biggest part of our budget. And we also have 2 meetings set up to discuss capital projects, and then it all culminates with the annual budget workshop at the start of December. You approve the tax levy at the December board meeting, and ultimately the budget and appropriations ordinance at the
And I missed the August committee of the whole, but that's when we gave the staff guidance on guidelines for salary increases, fee increases, et cetera. Did we talk about potential levy increases during that conversation?
We did not.
Okay. But the guidance was for 4% for salary increases, and then originally the guidance was supposed to be 4% for fees, but a couple of commissioners suggested a lower fee. Is that right?
We ended that meeting with the guidance of 4% for a salary pool and 3.5% for user fees.
Just because I wasn't at the meeting, I just want to throw out there that I, for one, will be uncomfortable with the situation if we see fees going up by 3.5% and the levy going up by 5%, according to the tax cap limitations. I'm not sure where CPI is going to come in, but I'm fairly certain it's going to be somewhere up there, especially in light of the fact that we've seen pretty significant erosion of our operating margins over the last couple of years. So I certainly hope staff will look any chance they can to see where those fees could be higher than 3.5% and actually probably more in line with wherever the levy ends up being. I just wanted to share that since I wasn't at the committee of the whole meeting.
And that was the guidance, that they would look at it program by program.
Great.
Yep. And speaking of the tax levy, you said we don't know where CPI is going to end up. CPI, where it ends at this year, controls next year's tax levy. So where it
we already
ended
do
last
know
year.
last year. Thank you for clarifying
it is
that.
actually at 6.5, but the
So we'll
tax
be
cap
capped at 5%.
5% is
Right.
as high as we can go. Correct.
Gotcha.
And that's on just the tax cap funds.
Thank you.
We have no unfinished business, so that brings us to new business. The first item being the consideration of the Smith Group contract amendment.
I move to approve the Smith Group contract amendment for the Langdon Shoreline Protection Project.
I'll second.
Thank you. No,
Do we have any discussion? Okay.
Is there, as I read through this, there's no like exact timeline that we have to follow on, or they have to follow on this to meet any, there's no penalty for it taking longer? Is that basically because we have no control over the permitting from a couple of the larger agencies? And there's no way we can control the timing of this?
Yeah, so there is a schedule included, but like you said, there's no penalties built in because, as you're pointing out, the regulatory bodies were kind of at their mercy.
Right. And then, and the plan right now still is in place for construction in the fall next year?
Correct.
And the village is fine with the temporary path through next season?
Yes.
And again, I'm glad you brought that up, Patrick. The schedule does talk about permit application with the village by March and then go out to a set of bid documents by April 17th. I know that we had gotten some feedback this year with a couple different projects as it related to the pool, that shorter lead times seem to translate to fewer bidders, and we've been seeing construction costs really high. Do we think that will be enough time from the bid to when we might want to commence work to get a robust number of bidders out there? And if not, is there something we can do to tighten the schedule and get them to move a little bit quicker on their end here so we have more time for those bids?
Yeah, I think, if we're going to if this schedule holds true and we are in receipt of bid documents in mid-April and we're not looking at construction until September, that's plenty of time for companies to work out their schedules and their crews and schedule the project.
Good. Okay, thank you.
And this brings us through our work through the end with Smith Group. The only other additional thing we might use them for, Steve, would be if we chose to hire them for construction management.
Correct. In their
If you guys
original
remember.
proposal, they had included that, and we decided to remove it at the time. So if we wanted to move forward with them in that capacity, they would be willing to provide those services.
But we could make that decision once we've come back from our bid.
Correct.
With our decision.
Correct.
So just to clarify, this may be the last, for now, this is the last contract, but should we choose to pursue that further, that's always an option.
At what point, so this bid does not include any landscaping beyond the ground they touch. So I know that we talked about, maybe they're basically impacting not even a third of the bluff in its entirety. And yet we talked about trying to remove invasive species and maybe try and do something more with the bluff and replanting that somehow. This bid does not address any of that. Is there a point in time that we're beyond adding that to this project? Or is that something that we say, hey, the part that they touched looks beautiful, the rest looks now ungainly, and then we
That's a great
decide
question.
to come back to it at a later date? Because when you have invasive species, they expand quickly, and you plant new stuff, the old stuff's going to grow right into it.
But if the Smith Group is the design work, as I understand it, they're not designing that remaining section of the bluff, as you said, but I would believe, Christy, would we ask the firm that we end up contracting with to do the additional work?
we
Or
also
would we
have-
hire our own landscape specialists at that point
I
in
mean, we
time?
do have a
We've
landscape.
already started
yeah.
discussions with Alyssa, our parks planner,
Okay.
and Smith Group, so that she'll start to create plans for the park in conjunction with their plans. So all areas that aren't covered by Smith Group will take in-house. So we're going to push Langdon to probably February or March of 2024 so that we can align well with Smith Group.
25?
No, 24.
24.
We'll start the planning for the landscape
Start the
plans
planning.
before the project.
But you're talking about the balance of the bluff, because that's really,
The whole park will, once they're done, that's when we'll,
do the whole park including the balance of the bluff.
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Shall we vote?
Commissioner Leahy,
Yes.
Commissioner Frazier,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Yes.
Commissioner Duffy.
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowskis.
Yes.
Contract is approved.
Thank you. Next item is 7.2, consideration of a power purchase agreement to install solar panels at the CRC. Mike, would you like the honors?
Sure, I was going to offer it to Cecilia, but I'll jump in. I move to approve the power purchase agreement to install solar panels at the CRC.
Second it.
Okay, well, what?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I guess I'll start because at least both times this is a very seller-friendly contract, and I just make sure that, I have found issues in it both times, but when it came to us before as to when we could purchase the equipment, and even now, the kind of a question of when, of what the rate would be. And I mean, both of them seem to have been resolved appropriately, but I guess that just makes me kind of nervous, as this is a very seller-friendly contract. And
And I think along those lines, you and I have both brought up issues. I think we've both been strong proponents for this project going back years and years now, but we wanted to make sure that it would be a good deal for the district. I originally was hoping to set a specific purchase price at some point down the road, and we thought we were doing that, and apparently there are IRS restrictions from that. So I've really become comfortable with this, that, as Steve had mentioned, even if we seek a potential buyout, we won't be obligated, whereas we would have under a different version of the contract. I'm really operating under the assumption that we're going to carry this thing through the 25 years. And on that basis, based on the analysis our staff has given us, I'm very comfortable with it. I do agree it's a seller-friendly contract, but I think it's an important project for the community and very visible.
I guess one kind of question that kind of came up is that we don't foresee any other external work to the CRC, because what kind of delayed this first time was they replaced some roof work and replacement. But do we see? I mean, because I know we're doing we're looking at all our facilities and if they're up, and how can we update them? But for the CRC, the updates would all be internal. Is it just Can you confirm that we're not talking about potentially external that might affect solar panels?
Yeah, I think the external work we're talking about wouldn't affect the solar panels, things like windows and the envelope. As you pointed out, the roof work was the important work to do before we added the solar panels.
Okay, so as I'm saying, so for I think we've had information the solar panels only last like 25 to 30 years, but within that time frame, you don't foresee anything that would affect where the installation of these panels.
So I had oh, here comes Christy to answer some points. Good.
You want to go ahead with your question?
No, I'll let her answer this because she's probably going to want to answer mine.
The big thing would be the rooftop units. So all of the
Which were
units
just
that are
redone.
up there are going to have a life cycle within those 20 to 25 years. But we're going to have to make sure that we have access to these units anyway, because we do maintain them. We have to get into these units. So it would be similar to what we're doing right now, where a crane comes in and lifts it up and brings it around. So I don't envision it impacting those solar panels.
So I had a question for you. As I was reading through the contract, they made a statement in there at the expiration of the 25 years that they were not responsible for any damages beyond regular wear and tear. And they cite an example in there as underground cables. If this was put on the ground and they ran underground cables, they're not responsible for removing the underground cables that they had laid for the project. So that made me think, well, they're installing bracings or a framework to put these. I'm assuming then they're going to take those and they're responsible then for also replacing any holes in the roof that are created from anchoring.
So we did work with the roofing contractor, so the provider of the actual product. They're the ones that actually recommended this company to work with because of their relationship and the fact that they would give us the warranty and would work alongside them as they installed all of the panels.
Okay, but when they come to remove it, I mean, we have no guarantee that they're taking the framing that
So
they're
that
putting
roof
in.
probably in 20 to 25 years will be getting replaced. That's why this roof is so ideal, because we won't
Just
have
the
to take
timing.
those panels off to replace any chunks of the roof. It's an ideal roof because it's less than 3 years old.
Yeah.
It should also help prevent or
Extend the life of
improve
the
the longevity, thank you, of the roof. So we might be able to get 25, 30 years, but, see how that works.
And
as the
Patrick, how I
process.
read that section was they don't want to be required to remove certain things that might then create a penetration that might then create a problem. That's how I read that section of the contract, which doesn't surprise me that that's how they would write it.
Yeah, I get it. I just was from a pessimistic point of view that I trust not too many people in a contract, and you always look at it like, okay, how am I getting screwed here? So that was my worry. The other thing I had was, if in the event, and Christian, this may not be directly impactful on you, but in the event that we choose to buy the panels or the project midstream at either 15, 20, 25 years, or at whatever the intervals were, that if we can't agree to their price that they set, they would go to an independent appraiser. How many independent appraisers are out there that can appraise a solar panel project like this? I mean, we know that appraising real estate is pretty common, but appraising a project like this is probably rather finite. And so, how do you know the
The only thing
non-biased
that I know
opinion?
since we've been doing this project and
Yeah.
the research we did beforehand, I'm finding more people who are independent of the solar product who want to help you, guide you through the process. So I think it's becoming more and more popular, and hopefully in 10 to 15 years, there will be more resources for us.
I hope so too, and I appreciate
Shaking my magic 8
Yeah,
ball.
exactly,
But
exactly.
again, I think that's why we should assume that we're going to run this through the 25 years. It might turn out that it's advantageous for us to do something different, but the way the contract's written, no guarantee of that. Right.
I think we've learned a lot in this process that will help us in the future as we look to expand solar to other buildings around the district as we have opportunity. So while we set out to do the right thing by the environment and by setting an example as leading in renewable energy sources for the district, this might not be the bargain or the best district-friendly contract out there, but we've sure given it a college try over the last 2 years to negotiate this down, and I'm comfortable taking this learning, and hopefully looking forward to applying what we've learned at future opportunities as we have other roofs and locations that may be suitable.
Well, I'm just going to just jump in because I think there was, Go Green Wilmette had a solar tour like maybe a week ago or I wasn't around, so I think it was a week ago because I wasn't here for that weekend. So, and part of it is that, like, the idea is the roof, that there is more and more solar being put on roofs within the village. So that just kind of makes me wonder, and this is where I'm bringing up that this was a very seller-friendly contract. I guess I'm just kind of feeling like, I'm happy like that all these homeowners are entering into similar contracts. And I'm just, so that's where I'm just kind of maybe wondering or pausing. I mean, because we brought up that if this can get resolved, then maybe we go back to the marketplace. But could there be other companies that have more buyer-friendly contracts? And then I just one other totally different thing to add is that Steve and I exchanged some emails on the topics, and at that point I wasn't able to re-access the contract online, and I didn't have it printed out. But under the licensing agreement that's also included on there, under Article 3, and this is kind of the reason we asked, they have the term of the license and shall expire on the 25th anniversary of the commercial operations. It's kind of the same issue that it doesn't allow for, or earlier, putting in some words that expire the 25th year or earlier based on buyouts, so that it doesn't have that. According to this, the license is just 25 years. Is 25 years. It doesn't have provision for an earlier termination, and that's kind of what I had seen. So
you're saying there's a conflict in the language between
I'm
the license
saying
agreement
license
and
agreement
the contract?
and contract. So I'm just bringing that out.
Is that something you can resolve?
I can try. So first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah.
So Cecilia, am I hearing you say you would prefer that we not vote on this and go back to the drawing board?
I hate
Or
to say that. I think I kind of am because, well, maybe. I guess it's. I think really do want to pursue solar, and everywhere I'm going now, I'm seeing more and more solar arrays, more and more, and So I guess that's just kind of making me pause. Is this the best contract? And I'm fully in support of putting solar in the CRC. I think it's a really great idea. I just am wondering if this is the best contract for the
So I didn't notice it, but oftentimes in contracts that I've seen, which is only one very small sliver of the world of contracts, there's often a provision. Okay, these additional, like in a rider, this rider supersedes any other language in the contract. Did you find anything like that where they were discussing our buyout times relative to this license agreement? Because I didn't notice
I
it,
didn't
so that's
notice
why I
anything,
think.
yeah, I didn't notice anything either, although I mean,
But I
I
was
did bring up
looking
is
for it
that,
here,
say at the end of 25 years, if we're not renewing and they're taking the equipment back, we still need to pay for that. It's like a $25,000 payment. I kind of like, again, seemed like very seller friendly. So I guess if other people feel differently, I'm just,
Well, this is the time to discuss.
This is
Yeah.
puts me in a very tough spot
Yeah.
that you found a conflict in the contract, and
well,
I'm not going to vote for something if you say this doesn't make
Well, it's
legal
only
sense.
it's only a conflict in the contract if we do seek to buy out before the 25 years. If we
I do believe we will seek to buy it out before 25 years. We've had this conversation. That's
Yeah.
what on that worldview. I'm with Cecilia.
yeah.
I guess I'm struggling to understand, acknowledging there has been so many edits to this contract as we've gone back and forth, not I, but as staff has gone back and forth with the vendor. Certainly, there's room for error that something didn't get picked up in the language amongst an edit. So what I'm sort of asking you here on this side is this something that we can resolve because this was an editing error as adjustments were made?
I think you're probably right, because Section 16B outlines our option to purchase, how it works. 16C outlines how it's valued. Similarly, Commissioner Clark pointed out some language that was in conflict on what the rate would be per kilowatt hour and how that rate would be calculated as compared to Exhibit 4 that shows what the rate is for all 25 years.
Right.
I contacted the company today, and they confirmed in an email that the schedule that has a flat rate across 25 years controls over that other language. So I think I would rely on 16B and 16C as we have the option to make a purchase at the end of the 10th, 15th, and 20th year, because it's outlined in those words.
I would not.
So if there was an edit to
She's
be
the lawyer.
made,
I'm going to make a
we
suggestion.
could provisionally approve this subject to them correcting the edit. That,
For sure.
we've done that
For
type
sure.
of thing before with
Yes.
contracts. Cecilia, I appreciate your sort of larger question about, are there other vendors out there? Maybe. I think that is what I was speaking to a couple weeks ago at the previous meeting, where we said if they weren't able to come to an agreement. At this point, given that they have, and given that we've invested so much time with this firm, and when we began this process, when we had multiple contracts in front of us, this firm was recommended to us by staff, and the board chose to proceed with this firm. Given where we are today at this time, at this point with the contract in front of us, I would personally be inclined to, subject to correcting the language, I would be inclined to, again, move forward in faith with this one, very much looking to expand options and take what we've learned for the future, just because I think substantially this contract has been vetted, and might there be a slightly better option, but at the cost of another year of waiting, that difference in savings might be minimized a little bit.
Yeah, well,
And the purchase price for the electricity generated with this vendor was substantially lower than the other vendor. So we did take a look at other
It was
alternatives
substantially
at
lower
one
at the
point.
beginning,
Yeah.
correct.
Right.
And, technology, like everything else, is continuing to evolve. New vendors are showing up. I absolutely agree. I think we're a little bit late. Maybe last month would have been the time to, if we were going to truly start going back. I don't know, that's just my two
So
cents.
as long
But
as
how do
you,
you guys feel? Does
I'm
anything-
with you, and I think that Kara had pointed out that it would conditionally, I approve this conditional
that would-
on
yeah.
if they can revise it to
Yeah.
match the language, I'm in favor.
And
So
I-
to
I
move
would
forward
be-
with this,
I would-
or
I would be
whatever
okay.
revisions.
I'm conflicted. I know you all have spent several years on this. It was sorry to put this weight on you, Christy, but that was helpful. It kind of made me feel a little better. So I'm happy to support this condition as long as Cecilia's happy.
So I think since I made the motion, I need to revise the motion.
Sure.
Is that correct?
Well,
So-
do you have any comments? No.
Okay. So I would move to approve the power purchase agreement to install solar panels at the CRC contingent upon resolving a conflict in language relating to the licensing.
In the licensing portion of the agreement.
And should that
And I
conflict,
second that.
and if the conflict is not able to be resolved, you could shoot us an email and let us know.
Correct.
At which point we would have to bring it back for discussion at the next meeting.
Correct.
Awesome.
Is that
I
okay?
think, yeah, nice is better.
Let's go to roll call on that.
Commissioner Leahy,
Yes.
Commissioner Frazier,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Yes.
Commissioner Duffy.
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowskis.
Yes,
Contract is approved, given the contingency.
4 years later.
thank you. Before we move to closed session, Patrick?
Come on,
Yes,
Patrick.
Park staff.
Yes.
Christie's crew, how many trees did you guys put in at Mallinckrodt? It looks like about 25.
Well, that's where they were all delivered.
Okay,
It's a part-
all right.
The picture, yeah, that was them getting delivered.
Yeah, okay, so that's where they staged the trees for distribution throughout our district. But we are now through the second set of 50 trees for this year, right?
Yeah, they were planting today and tomorrow.
But so we'll almost have had 100 trees planted. Let's say by the end of this month, for sure, we'll have 100 trees planted this year.
We're close.
All right, we're right around there. And then the work at, where'd it go? CRC, you guys did the doors, the work at Gilson has new lights, switches done. I love it every day, or every time we have these packets and look at what Christie's crew has done unnoticed. And then at the very end of the packet, usually, definitely during Kyle, but we have it here too, Sheila's work on the finances of the district, you know. Two of the all-stars in the back corner of the room often go unnoticed, and so we're going to have to start putting their pictures on these reports so that everybody can see them.
And there's always a little humor baked into the
Yeah, you
customer
know.
service paragraph.
Yes.
The puns do not go unnoticed by me. Okay, thanks to everyone for those information in our packets. May I have a motion for 8.0? Patrick?
I'll move to adjourn.
Oh, no, we
No,
have.
we're no.
8.0.
Now you're in.
who
Go
gets
for
to
it.
read?
They got it,
There you
Mr.
go.
Clark.
It's going to take.
I guess I'm doing it. All right.
Oh.
I move to adjourn to closed session for the discussion of the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the Park District, including meetings for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired, as well as the setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body in accordance with Sections 2C5 and 2C6 of the Open Meetings Act. And for the discussion of the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel of the district, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the district or against legal counsel, determine its validity in accordance with Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act.
I second that.
Commissioner Leahy,
Yes.
Commissioner Frazier,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Yes.
Commissioner Duffy.
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowskis.
Yes. We are adjourned to closed session.